Hi guys, so I'm going to go over this worksheet with graphing the linear inequalities. So you graph these just like you would a regular equation, except it has the inequality symbol. So you need to figure out if your line should be dotted or solid, and which side of the line you need to shade on. Because basically what this says is that you can have any y value that is less than or equal to this line. Okay, so the first thing, you want to make sure that it's in y equals mx plus b form. So this one is y equals mx plus b form. So I'm going to write out what my m is, and remember m is your slope. So my m in this case is 5/3, which means I'm going to go up 5 and write 3. And then b is going to be -4 in this case, and this is my y-intercept. So this is my starting point on the y-axis. So I'm going to find -4 on the y-axis. So my y-axis is the vertical one. -4 is 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and I'm going to put my first dot. Then I'm going to use my slope to move. So from that first dot, I'm going to go up 5 and then write 3. So I'm going to go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and write 1, 2, 3. I'm going to repeat the process. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Write 1, 2, 3. Okay, I don't have enough room on my graph to go any further, so I'm going to see if I can go the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right one or left 1, 2, 3. Remember, when you're going the opposite, you do the opposite direction. Okay, after you do that, you need to connect your dots, but you got to figure out if it's a solid or a dotted line. So in this case, since this is less than or equal to, since it has that equal to, this is going to be a solid line. So I'm going to go ahead and connect my dots with a solid line. Okay, and then this says less than. We want y values that are less than the line. So I always like to go back to my starting point and figure out where are numbers less than this point. So this point was -4. Where are numbers less than -4? They're below. So that means I'm going to shade everything below this line, like so. Okay, all right, looking at number 4, we have 2x minus 5y is greater than or equal to 30. So first thing that you should notice, this is not in y equals mx plus b form, so we have to solve it so it is. So we want to get the y by itself. So that means we need to get rid of this 2x and eliminate the -5. Always eliminate the 2x first, so the term that is not with the y. So to eliminate this, I want to get it to 0. So how do I go from 2 to 0? You subtract. So I'm going to subtract 2x. But an equation is like a balancing act, so whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. Okay, this is going to now eliminate. I'm going to be left with -5y is greater than or equal to. Now, I cannot combine these two because this one has an x and this one doesn't. So -2x plus 30. Now I need to eliminate that -5. I don't want to eliminate the y, just the -5. So to do that, you have to divide. So divide everything by -5. So I'm going to get y is greater than or equal to. Actually, that's wrong. And I've noticed that a lot of you are making the same exact mistake. I divided by a negative, correct? So when you divide by a negative, that means you have to change the inequality sign. So the inequality sign was greater than or equal to, but since I divided by a negative, everything by negative, I need to switch it to the less than. So now a negative and a negative make a positive. So I'm going to have positive 2/5 x. 30 divided by -5 is going to be -6. So now it's in that y equals mx plus b form. So my m is going to be 2/5, and my b is going to be -6. So going over to my graph, I'm going to find -6 on the y-axis. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to put a dot. I'm going to use my slope. So my slope over here was a +2, so that means up, and a +5, that means right. So I'm going to go from that point up 1, 2, right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't have enough room to repeat the process. So now I need to figure out if it's a solid or dotted line. So looking over here, it's less than or equal to. So there's that equal to, so it's a solid line. So I'm going to go ahead, connect them. Now I need to figure out, do I shade below or above? So it's less than. This is where you would get the problem wrong if you forgot to switch your sign when you divide by a negative. So I want less than, I want y values that are less than this. So I'm going to shade everything below this line here, like so. So that means any points in this area is going to be a solution to this inequality. I'll do one more. Let's look at number 5. Okay, so looking at number 5, again, it's not in y equals mx plus b form, so I had to get it in y equals mx plus b form. So I need to get rid of this x, eliminate it. To eliminate it, this is like a 1x. How do I go from 1 to 0? Well, I subtract 1. Whatever I do to one side, I have to do to the other. It's like a balancing act. So this eliminates. I'm left with negative y is greater than negative x plus 5. So now this y technically isn't by itself. We pretend that there's a negative 1 in front of it. So to get rid of that negative 1, I have to divide everything by negative 1. So not making the same mistake that we did last time, we have to flip the inequality sign from greater than to less than. Okay, here a negative and a negative is going to make a positive x. And then a +5 divided by negative 1 is going to make a negative 5. So our slope is 1. Remember, when they don't give it to you as a fraction, you can make it a fraction, which means we go up 1, right 1. Our b in this case, or our starting point, is going to be negative 5. So now that we have that information, we go over to our graph. Start at negative 5 on the y-axis. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Put our dot. Using our slope to move, we're going to go up 1, right 1. Up 1, right 1. Up 1, right 1. And continue this process until we run out of room. Okay, to go the opposite way, down 1, left 1, down 1, left 1, down 1, left 1. Now, figure out if it's a solid or dotted line. This just says that it's less than. It doesn't say that it's equal to the line. So this is just going to be a dotted line, like so. Okay. Now to figure out the shading, we wanted y values that are less than. So looking over here, here's our dot. Where are the y values less than? They're down below, so you're going to shade everything down here. All right, guys, hope this video is helpful. Let me know if you have any other questions.